The ground beneath your feet holds secrets while you navigate city streets and highways, convinced the world operates on the infrastructure you can see, the power lines strung overhead, the municipal buildings downtown, the broadcast towers on distant hills. An entirely separate reality hums in the darkness below. This isn't conspiracy fantasy. This is engineering reality, historical precedent, and the brutal logic of continuity of government. Welcome back to The Lost Tactician, where we explore not just how wars were fought, but how power maintains itself when everything visible collapses. Today, we're descending into the hidden infrastructure that most citizens will never know exists and examining the logistical marvels that make a parallel government possible. During the Cold War's most paranoid years, ordinary buildings became extraordinary fortresses. A nondescript telecommunications facility in rural Virginia wasn't just routing phone calls. It concealed emergency command centers designed to withstand nuclear strikes. Mount Weather, a civilian emergency management complex, transformed into an underground city capable of housing the entire legislative branch during catastrophe. The genius wasn't in building obvious bunkers that would attract attention. The genius was in repurposing existing infrastructure, hiding critical nodes inside structures that blended seamlessly into American landscapes. Walk through any major metropolitan area and you'll pass ventilation grates that seem unremarkable. Some pump air for subway systems, others serve far deeper purposes. During World War II, London's underground wasn't just sheltering citizens during the Blitz. Entire command centres operated within abandoned tube stations, coordinating military operations while the city burned overhead. The British government moved essential functions into these subterranean spaces, creating a shadow administration that could function even if surface London was reduced to rubble. The infrastructure was already there. It simply required vision to see its dual purpose. The challenge of maintaining a hidden government isn't secrecy alone, it's logistics. How do you move personnel, equipment, and intelligence across continents without leaving traces? Well, the answer lies in redundancy and misdirection. During the height of the Cold War, the United States constructed elaborate underground facilities connected by tunnels that stretched for miles. Raven Rock, the alternate Pentagon, buried inside a Pennsylvania mountain, wasn't a single bunker. It was a small city with dormitories, hospitals, and communications centers, all carved from solid granite and connected to other secure sites through classified transport networks. The financial machinery supporting such infrastructure operates beyond traditional oversight. Black budgets, funds allocated without detailed public accounting, have funded projects that remained secret for decades. The construction of these facilities required thousands of workers, yet operational security protocols ensured compartmentalization. Contractors built sections without understanding the whole. Truck drivers delivered supplies to loading docks without seeing final destinations. The infrastructure functioned precisely because no single person possessed complete knowledge of its scope. Any shadow government worth its salt must achieve energy independence. Public power grids are vulnerable. Severing a few transmission lines can darken entire regions. Hidden facilities circumvent this weakness through dedicated power generation. Mount Weather maintained its own electrical plant. Deep underground complexes installed redundant diesel generators capable of running for months. Some facilities reportedly tapped into geothermal energy sources, ensuring power even if surface infrastructure collapsed entirely. Water presented similar challenges. You cannot sustain populations underground without addressing basic survival needs. Classified facilities drilled private wells hundreds of feet deep, tapping aquifers unreachable by conventional means. Filtration systems recycled water with military efficiency. Food storage followed survivalist principles, refined to industrial scale. freeze-dried rations, vacuum-sealed supplies, hydroponic gardens in some of the more elaborate installations. These weren't comfortable spaces. They were survival machines designed to preserve governmental function when everything else failed. Communication systems operated entirely separately from civilian networks. Hardened fiber optic cables buried beneath federal highways created a parallel internet immune to electromagnetic pulse. Satellite uplinks hidden in innocuous structures ensured redundant communication channels. The lesson from history was clear. When Berlin fell in 1945, Nazi command structures collapsed because communication networks depended on visible infrastructure that Allied bombers could destroy. Modern shadow governments learned this lesson well, building systems that could function independently of anything the public could access or adversaries could target. Infrastructure means nothing without people trained to operate it. The personnel sustaining these hidden systems aren't ordinary bureaucrats. They're specialists who've spent careers preparing for scenarios most citizens never imagine. During continuity of government exercises, these teams practice evacuating to secure facilities, establishing command hierarchies, and maintaining operations under catastrophic conditions. Their training emphasizes compartmentalization, knowing your role without understanding the complete picture. The psychological toll of such work rarely gets discussed. Imagine maintaining readiness for a disaster you hope never arrives, working in facilities that feel like tombs, separated from family for extended periods during exercises or actual emergencies. Military personnel rotating through these assignments often describe a surreal existence, spending weeks underground maintaining equipment that might never be used, drilling procedures for scenarios that exist only in classified war games. The human cost of preparedness is measured not just in budget dollars, but in psychological strain and fractured personal lives. The existence of such infrastructure forces uncomfortable questions about accountability and democracy. When significant governmental capacity operates beyond public knowledge, traditional oversight mechanisms break down. Elected officials may not know the full extent of facilities their taxes fund. Citizens cannot debate policies they don't know exist. The tension between security and transparency defines modern governance. Every classified program justified as necessary for national survival erodes the democratic principle that power derives from informed consent. History offers some pretty sobering lessons. The bunkers built to preserve government during nuclear war would have created, well, a sort of post-apocalyptic aristocracy, those inside surviving while populations outside perished. The infrastructure designed to maintain continuity instead, guaranteed inequality of survival. These aren't just abstract concerns, they're practical realities of any system that concentrates resources and protection for the few while leaving the many vulnerable. The infrastructure supporting shadow governments represents humanity's simultaneous genius and paranoia. We've engineered solutions to impossible logistical problems, creating systems that could theoretically preserve governmental function through almost any disaster. Yet in doing so, we've also built monuments to mistrust, physical manifestations of the belief that survival requires secrecy and that power must be protected even from those it supposedly serves. Understanding this hidden world isn't about validating paranoia. It's about recognizing that infrastructure shapes possibility and that what remains unseen often matters way more than what's displayed. The survival principles these systems embody, redundancy, self-sufficiency, compartmentalization, apply far beyond classified facilities. They're lessons in resilience that inform everything from personal preparedness to community planning. If you found this exploration of hidden infrastructure valuable, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video. Subscribe to The Lost Tactician for more investigations into the invisible systems shaping our world and the survival wisdom embedded in history's darkest chapters. Until next time, question what you see, because the real power often operates where you're not looking.